Always be silent in 5 situation. In a quaint village nestled among rolling hills and ancient forests, there lived a wise elder named Kaida. Kaida was known throughout the land for her profound wisdom and her ability to guide those seeking answers to life's most complex questions. One crisp morning, a group of villagers gathered beneath the ancient cherry blossom tree in the village square. They sought Kaida's counsel, for they faced a dilemma that weighed heavily on their hearts. The village had been plagued by conflicts and misunderstandings, and they longed for harmony and peace to return. Kaida, with her silver hair and eyes that held the wisdom of ages, looked upon the villagers with a gentle smile. She sensed their longing for tranquility and knew that the time had come to share a story that held the key to inner peace. "Dear villagers," Kaida began, "I shall tell you a tale passed down through generations, a story that reveals the wisdom of always being silent in 5 crucial situations." The villagers listened intently, their anticipation palpable as Kaida's words began to weave the tapestry of the story. Once, in a distant kingdom, Kaida began, there lived a renowned scholar named Isamu. Isamu was known far and wide for his knowledge and eloquence. He possessed the gift of words, and his voice could sway even the most stubborn hearts. Kaida continued, one day, Isamu received an invitation to the royal palace. The king, a man of immense power and authority, sought Isamu's counsel on a matter of great importance. The king, Kaida explained, was embroiled in a bitter dispute with a neighboring kingdom. Tensions were high, and war loomed on the horizon. The fate of the entire kingdom rested on Isamu's words. As the villagers hung on her every word, Kaida shared the first crucial situation. Isamu, standing before the king and his council, realized that his words held immense weight. He knew that in this moment, silence was more powerful than any eloquent speech. He chose to remain silent, allowing the king to reflect on the consequences of war. Kaida continued the story. The king, deep in thought, recognized the wisdom of Isamu's silence. He chose the path of diplomacy, averting a catastrophic war and bringing peace to the land. The villagers nodded in understanding, realizing the power of silence in the face of conflict. Kaida proceeded with the second situation. In another instance, she began, Isamu found himself in the midst of a heated argument among villagers. Tempers flared, and anger threatened to consume their hearts. Isamu, Kaida explained, recognized that engaging in the argument would only fuel the flames of discord. Instead, he chose to remain silent, allowing the villagers to exhaust their anger. As the story unfolded, Kaida shared the outcome. In the absence of Isamu's participation, the villagers grew weary of their argument. They realized the futility of their anger and chose to reconcile, mending the bonds of friendship that had been strained. The villagers marveled at the wisdom of silence in diffusing conflicts. Kaida continued, sharing the third situation. Isamu once found himself in the presence of a grieving widow. Her heart was heavy with sorrow, and she poured out her pain to Isamu. In this moment, Kaida said, Isamu knew that words could not heal the widow's heart. Instead, he chose to sit in silent companionship, offering her the solace of his presence. The story's message was clear, and Kaida shared the outcome. Through their shared silence, the widow found comfort and strength. Isamu's presence, without the need for words, provided the balm her wounded soul sought. The villagers nodded in reverence for the power of silent empathy. As the day waned and the sun dipped below the horizon, Kaida shared the fourth situation. Isamu, she began, once stood in the midst of a lush forest. The beauty of nature surrounded him, and he encountered a magnificent ancient tree. In the presence of such majesty, Kaida explained, Isamu knew that silence was the only appropriate response. He stood in awe, allowing the tree's silent wisdom to touch his soul. The story continued. Through this silent communion with nature, Isamu gained insights that words could never convey. He carried the tree's wisdom in his heart, sharing it with all who sought his guidance. The villagers felt a deep connection to the natural world and its capacity to impart wisdom in silence. Finally, Keita shared the fifth situation. In the twilight of his life, she began, Isamu found himself facing the inevitability of his own mortality. He knew that the time had come to pass on his knowledge to a worthy successor. In the presence of the eager young scholar, Keita explained, Isamu recognized that his legacy would be best transmitted through silent contemplation. He imparted his wisdom through actions and shared moments of silent reflection. The story concluded with a profound lesson. The young scholar, in his moments of silent reflection, discovered the depths of Isamu's teachings. Through this silent transmission of knowledge, Isamu's legacy lived on for generations to come. With the story's end, the villagers sat in thoughtful silence, absorbing the wisdom of always being silent in these 5 situations. Keita's storytelling had illuminated their hearts and minds, offering them a path to harmony and inner peace. As they dispersed, the villagers carried with them the timeless lessons of the story, knowing that in the art of silence, they had discovered a powerful tool for navigating life's challenges and fostering understanding, empathy, and peace.